sitting in a pew at Norwood Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. I heard this scripture preached as the basis of why every person was healed of sickness and disease. It was the suffering of Jesus that gave us the right to good health and a good life. We were not to take responsibility for any of the good, but all of the bad. The Georgia Mass Choir shares this example.
There was a family on their way down south, and they had gone as far as they could go, and they made their way, and they were driving on a dirt road. Storm came, the lightning started flashing. The young man that was driving the car lost control of the automobile, ran off the road, and everybody was all right except him. They got out of the car, and just across the dirt road was a white house. They took across there to that white house and knocked on the door, and the white lady came to the door and said, "Can I help you?" They said, "Ma'am, if you just let us, our brother just got in an accident. We want to just come in and make a telephone call. We want to call the doctor." They walked in, and daughter got on the phone. The phone kept ringing, and there was no answer. Finally, somebody picked up the phone and said, "I'm sorry, but the doctor's not here. He's out on his rounds." Somebody say, "Yes, here." Well, the daughter put that phone down and went back into the living room, and the little children, they were sitting there crying. They were all sitting there crying. And by that time, Grandmama got out of the car. She made her way across that dirt road, and she walked up to it and just opened up the screen door, and she peeped in and she said, "How's my son doing?" And they told her, said, "Mama, we tried to call the doctor, but he was out on his rounds." She said, "Child, let me come in." She walked in and she looked at that white lady and she said, "Ma'am, do you have a closet?" She said, "Ma'am, do you have a closet?" And then they looked at her and said, "If you want to use the phone, you can use the phone." She said, "No, ma'am, I don't want to use the phone, but I want to call my doctor, and I need to go to the closet." Wait a minute. She made her way to that closet, and there was just enough room for her to get in there. She walked in that closet. The children were walking behind her. She walked in that closet, and she closed the door, and before she talked to the Lord, she said this.
As a child, I remember the church singing this song and how it touched so many people. The thought of Jesus coming to save them from all sickness and disease caused some to shout, some to dance, and others to pass out. But it was the belief that something or someone outside of themselves that would come to heal them that hindered the very healing that they desired. We didn't see ourselves as spirit, only flesh and blood, and in the need of controlling. Fillmore writes that we must stop calling the body flesh and blood and see it as it is, spirit, mind, pure and incorruptible. Most people like to present to you all the details of their condition, as you have undoubtedly observed. They like to show their wounds, their rashes, their eruptions, and their deformities. As the healer, I now know that I am to hold the space for them, the space of healing, wholeness, and to see them as healthy, whole, and complete. I am to see the condition as the nothingness that it is. According to your faith, be it unto you. Matthew 9:29. In my late 20s and early 30s, the Baptist Church began to acknowledge that we have a part in our healing, some part. We at least have to believe that Jesus can and will heal us. Joel Goldsmith writes, "No one will ever be completely whole until he finds himself at home in God. No one is going to be wholly satisfied, even with good economic conditions, until he finds in his inner communion with God." Spiritual healing is much more than a purely physical experience or even a mental experience. Healing is finding an inner communion with something greater, far greater than anything in the world. It is finding ourselves in God, finding ourselves in a spiritual peace. Now in my 40s, I have learned that disease is just a physical outpicturing of the dis-ease that is going on inside. Disease is only one of the many facets of inharmony and discord in life. Advances in medicine will not eliminate the need for spiritual healing, because even with 100% success in physical healing, I do not believe that such healing will ever succeed in revealing man's soul to him. That will be the function of the practitioner of spiritual healing.